In this material, you will learn how to use SushiSwap, a decentralized application for exchanging cryptocurrencies. SushiSwap is at the forefront in terms of popularity, with a large number of users utilizing it, as you can see summarized in the bottom part of the screen. Without further ado, let's dive into the specifics of how to use its functions. I open the official website, check if the address is correct, and if the site is secured with a safety certificate. If everything is in order, I go to the Swap tab and click on it, after which we are redirected to the main panel where we will exchange our cryptocurrencies. In addition to the swap function, in the upper left corner, there are many additional options such as pools, stake or pay, but I will tell you about them in a few words at the very end. First, we will focus on the most important, namely the swap option and token swapping. Currently, the default network for the application is Ethereum. However, for the purpose of this recording, we will be using the Polygon network because it is very cost-effective, with transaction fees amounting to just a few cents. Remember that the swap looks exactly the same on each of them. So if you plan to use any other network, all the steps you need to take are the same. The only difference is the trading fee, but more on that in a moment. I will now connect my wallet to the platform. Currently, I'm using MetaMask, but besides it, you can choose any other wallet from the list. After clicking on Connect, we'll be prompted to select the appropriate profile. If you're using dedicated profiles based on the rules mentioned in the material about configuring MetaMask, choose a profile dedicated to decentralized applications. On the screen, permission requests will appear. Those visible on the screen, such as accessing the account state, address, activity, and suggesting transactions to sign, are entirely standard. I mention this to emphasize the importance of always paying attention to what appears here because, in haste, we might click too quickly. In the case of some unscrupulous services, this could result in clearing our account. In this instance, everything is fine, so I click Connect. And at this moment, we can already make use of all the features available on the platform. In the top right corner, we have automatically switched to the Polygon network because I selected this network earlier in the MetaMask settings. Let's get right into action. We will now carry out a sample transaction of exchanging Matic tokens for USDC. Next, I will select the transaction value. In this case, it will be around 10 cents, which is approximately 1/10 of a Matic. After clicking Swap on the screen, we can see all the details of our operation. I'll confirm first on the platform, and then I'll sign the transaction with my MetaMask wallet. If you are swapping other tokens and see an additional request to set a spending cap limit, don't worry because I will discuss it later in the video. In the meantime, I'll switch the transaction fee from regular to low. It's a habit I developed while using the Ethereum network. I intentionally mention it so that you're aware of this option, which can be useful for everyday savings on the so-called gas fee. After a short wait, the transaction is confirmed and recorded on the blockchain. Now I return to the Exchange tab, and I see that USDC has appeared on the list of available account balances, which means the swap was successful. The process is the same for exchanging any other token on any network. For additional information, by hovering and clicking on the gear icon, we can set the so-called slippage. This value determines the percentage by which the transaction value can differ from the calculation displayed before its execution. For instance, if we set it to 1% and want to exchange 100 USDT for USDC, the simulation may show that we'll receive 99.9 USDC. But in reality, we might get 99 units. Slippage is significant in shallow markets where larger selling amounts cause the coin price to drop significantly, and buying for a larger amount makes the price rise significantly. This way, we can control whether we are not selling too cheap or buying too expensive. The entire exchange, the whole transaction completed in just a few clicks. We will now act in the opposite direction, exchanging USDC for Matic so that I can show you what the spending limit cap, which I mentioned earlier, is all about. I enter the amounts, click Swap, confirm on the website, and then a MetaMask window appears, which we didn't see before. This additional security measure allows us to set the maximum amount of funds that the applications we use can access. If we have $10,000 in our account but only want to exchange $100, we can grant access to only that amount here, providing an extra layer of security for the rest of the funds. This feature is particularly useful for applications we don't fully trust. In the case of SushiSwap, there's generally little to worry about, but MetaMask always displays this option whenever we use tokens other than the default network token, regardless of the application we want to use. I choose Max, which in my case will be around 10 cents, and confirm. We need to wait for a while until the transaction is processed because it also gets recorded on the blockchain. The rest of the swapping process looks exactly the same as before, adjusting the transaction fee to low and confirming. In the end, we can see that the funds have been successfully swapped. For a brief summary, it's crucial to keep in mind the costs associated with exchanges. Transaction fees are incurred for each operation and depend on two factors. Firstly, the network you're using. Some are more cost-effective than others. Secondly, the timing of your transaction. There are periods when all actions are economical, but unfortunately, there are also times when the network is congested and each click can cost several dollars. For more detailed information, you can find specific data on websites dedicated to tracking transaction fees for each network. Additionally, on SushiSwap, there is an option called cross-chain, which allows us to swap tokens by transferring them directly to another network. This function, offering the ability to exchange various tokens across different networks, is referred to as an aggregator. By activating it at this point, you can choose from a list of pairs that interest you and that you ultimately want to use. On the left side, you select the network, and on the right, the token. It is quite straightforward and very similar to what we did earlier. Furthermore, in the top left corner, you will find the Liquidity Pool tab, where you can add liquidity to one of the currently available 4,000 pools or create your own new pool. For more information on this, you can refer to the material on liquidity pools and impermanent loss. You will also find an option here called Stake, where you can participate in profit sharing from trading fees for those who have previously locked their tokens. The Pay option allows for online payments, currently supporting all tokens based on the ERC20 standard, with the likelihood of expanding this range in the future. Another tab primarily contains educational, analytical, and blog materials where you can find a lot of valuable knowledge. Lastly, there is the Buy Crypto function, where you can purchase cryptocurrencies using a few of the most popular payment methods, bypassing the need to register on centralized exchanges. If you are looking for a complete cryptocurrency training, check out my crypto guide on Udemy. The link is below this video. This course and channel are created for you, and it would bring me great joy if I could contribute to your success. I hope this material has been helpful to you. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. Good luck!